you know, using this platform and hosting a variety of us who've worked with you. For those of you who are not familiar, my name is Marcella Kroll, and I am a multimedia artist and a full-time spiritual counselor. That's what I filed my taxes as. I also teach classes with the Los Angeles Public Library. For the YA program, I teach Intro to Tarot for teens, and I teach adults too, but usually off-site of the library. And Not a Cult printed and published my book, Priestess, which came out in October of 2019, and it's sold out, which is cool. It's like, hey, what? Work? My art validated? What? So I'm grateful for that. And I wanted to bring this kind of workshop together today, and it comes on the heels of the last workshop that I taught, which was Letter to My Former Self. Letter to a Never Lover is something that came up particularly around relationships, intimacy in relationships, but it also applies to the fact that, like, we all have this varied and varied experience within relationships and how we connect, you know, but like community and, you know, interpersonal. And Letter to a Never Lover is, for me, something I wanted to, in the same way with the last workshop, send healing down the timeline, send healing to the old ideas or archetypes, the types of people that we've connected to, whether it's been out of survival or just wanting to belong or validated, and, you know, give a little permission to let go of any hooks that I've been a part of, you know, in keeping those old stories alive, those old narratives. And, you know, so the format of this particular workshop, if you were at the last one, is going to be a little bit different. What we're going to do first, though, before we begin anything, is we're going to create a container. And through this container, you know, we're going to ask to invite in clarity and direction and, you know, any guidance that we may receive. And then we're going to do a little grounding meditation. Then we're going to do a little letter writing. And we're just giving you the layout of the land, you know, so you know what's happening. We'll read maybe a couple of the letters if people are comfortable reading their letters. I'm going to read my letter as an example for you all. And then we're going to do a deeper meditation. And this meditation comes with a disclaimer. So you'll have an opportunity to either not do it if you don't feel like you're ready for it, or you can come back to it because we are recording this, you know, but either way, I'm just going to be really clear with you through the whole thing, and we'll take a break as well at some point. And I just want to thank you all personally for showing up today, for doing this work, for putting yourself first in this way, because I think it's really important that, yes, while we help others, we actually need to come back and help ourselves, especially if a lot of us are feeling kind of activated by the different scenarios and things that might be coming up for you at this time. Okay. So first, let's go ahead and create that container. So what I'm going to invite you to do, and you can, however you feel like you need to, you can close your eyes if you want to, or you can just sit or relax or lay down, whatever is comfortable for you. Just find a comfortable space. And if you haven't already, make sure that you know, any noise or distractions, if you have electronic devices, making sure the ringer is off or set to silent mode. So I'm going to go ahead here, and I'm going to just take a nice inhale and an exhale out. And I'm going to welcome in the direction of the east, the element of air, clarity, wisdom, messages. Now turning and welcoming in the energy of the south, the fire, the creativity, the action, spontaneity, drive. And turning our attention to the west, the energy of water, emotion, fluidity, ease, gentleness, but also durability, resilience. And then bring in your attention to the north, element of earth, guardians, ancestors, groundedness, stability, wisdom. Bringing our energy below, Mother Earth, nourishment, all beings, connectivity, bringing your attention above, Great Spirit, ancestors of the past, ancestors of the earth, ancestors of past lives, ancestors of the galactic, anyone else that we are connected to in those lineages of helpful and healing information today. And then bringing your awareness and your hands, if you like, to your heart. And thank yourself, this vessel, this body, your spirit for being here today, for showing up, knowing that the benefit of your practice today benefits all those that are around you. Giving yourself full permission to be focused and present today for you, for your healing. Okay. So, from this space, we are going to really tune in to being grounded and connected to the present. And I want you to bring your awareness to the physical, your physical space right now, to your physical location, to your physical body being in this space, no matter what it looks like. And really inviting in wisdom and guidance from your guides. We're asking for clarity, passion. And on the inhale, we're going to invite in empathy and compassion for ourselves and others. And on the exhale, we're going to release and exhale out any fear, resentment, or any stagnation blocking us from being present today. And we're going to get right into the work. We're going to get right into it because it's important to just dive into this stuff head first sometimes, even if it feels a little bit daunting. Because trust me, this meditation that we're going to do is pretty thorough. But before that, do the letter writing. Now, what's important in magic and letter writing is knowing that the energy of your words, the energy of your thoughts can travel through space and time. They can travel through in a way that it's felt in the energetic body. So we want to include in our letter not just pain and infractions of justice, and but also where we were appreciative, where we were grateful, where we felt whole and connected, and what gifts we received through this process. So I'm going to read you my letter because I think it's important. It's not a guideline, but maybe this will help you in writing your own letter. Okay. So I'm going to read you the letter that I wrote. Okay. Letter to my former lovers, crushes, companions, exes, fantasy league team players, and partners. I'm writing today to say thank you. Thank you for being a beautiful canvas to project on. Thank you for entertaining the notions I had created. Without fantasy, delusion, slight interest, breadcrumbs, and gaming, I would not be ready for what and who is about to come into my life. I do now understand my part and pain in all of this. It's been quite an interesting time cleaning up my side of the street. I apologize for putting undue pressure upon or demanding you to love, hurt, and desert me in your hands. That was not the role you asked for, but I put you there to satisfy an old narrative. One I am no longer comfortable playing the lead in. I am sorry for having ridiculously high, unreachable, and ultimately self-sabotaging expectations. If I'm being truly honest and taking full responsibility, I think I was terrified of commitment, deeming myself unlovable, unworthy, because I did not feel like it was for me to be vulnerable enough to be my true self. This was not your job to figure out, it was mine. I realize now I was never taught how to love, only how to survive abandonment, abuse, neglect, and the art of phoenixing through a lifetime. Phoenixing, by the way, is the cycle of igniting yourself on fire till you burn to ash, then rising again. This practice of death and rebirth, while powerful, can also burn a lot of other people in the process. However, I also find that in this process, I will no longer be taking responsibility for irresponsible, abusive, narcissistic trauma or wounding that is not mine. While I take full ownership of my parts, I banish out all that I have taken from you in an effort to keep your attention, approval, or validation of me. I am not your personal vessel of healing and transmutation. I am not your emotional punching bag. I release and return to sender all and any times I was gaslighted, abused, projected on, preyed upon, and or dishonored. I let go of any sickness, violence, or roles assigned to me that were not mine to take. I call back my power from any situations or relationships that were taken or given away consciously or subconsciously. I let go and clear all patterns and mirrors of pain, shame, disempowerment, and punishment in relationships from all timelines, whether they are mine, inherited ancestrally, karmically, or collectively. I invite in freedom to learn through my relationships from a higher perspective and place of empowerment. It is in this place where I am loved, supported, and known as I am, and not as the victim. So this letter isn't so much a goodbye, nor a fuck you, don't ever speak to me again instruction. It is a letter of love, prayer, and gratitude. A thank you for being in my life and showing me the contrast of love and pain. A thank you for guiding me back to my wisdom. I wish you well and so much love, success, and true happiness without me. I cut the tendrils of energetic strife that I have courted to out of validation for my pain. I release any hooks that have kept little baits of shame as lures to continue looping patterns or keep old behaviors active. They have no power over us anymore. May the next time, in this life or the next, should we cross paths again, only be met from an elevated and respected frequency. With love and gratitude, Marcella. Okay, so that's my letter. And this moment in this time, it's really, really important for all of us to clear the channel, to say what we need to say. The good, the truth, not just about what happened, but what we would like to see happen, what we would like our engagements to be. It's amazing how some of us can be like, and I'm speaking from myself here, about like how we can be very elevated in certain areas of our life, but because of survival mode, because of having to overdevelop in other areas, other parts of us can feel like we're deficient, you know, in certain areas, and because of that deficiency, it's like we don't believe in our own worthiness to experience these things. I'm just speaking from my own perspective here, but you know, this is the time to get everything It doesn't have to be perfectly level. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be an expert at one thing and not at the other, or you don't have to be an expert at all things. But cleaning up our personal relationships on a micro, macro level, on a collective level, and on a personal level is really going to benefit us moving forward. So I'm going to invite you all now, and I'm just going to move this here, to work on your own letter. And you can have it with someone specific in mind, or just a general archetype, because sometimes, right, we notice we have a pattern of a type of person, and it doesn't matter if it's a friend or a lover, but they come into our lives and we keep playing these parts with each other. So I want you to spend the next, we're going to do the next 10 minutes. I'm going to just shut my off. I'll put my picture up, but spend the next 10 minutes and write your letter. And we're going to come back to this. Okay, so take that moment for yourselves now. We'll have like a few more minutes. So just think about how you want to wrap it up. Okay, you can just come back to here with us and all here now. I love this container that we've created. Um, just bringing your attention back to here. I know it's kind of a lot to like have to go inward and think about those, right? Like, what am I writing? And then to come back out. But this is where we get to kind of fine tune it. And don't worry about it being perfect. Don't worry about it forgetting something. You can always, as things come to mind, and very much so, like I find that when I'm in the space of a group kind of situation and someone shares, I often find relatable that maybe kind of passed my mind or I didn't think of, but it feels really resonant. Now, sharing is completely optional. If you don't feel inclined to share, that's fine. But if you just want to read their letter, you are welcome to, because sometimes, for me personally, I find that sharing in a context this way, it helps me initiate the process of beginning the healing, and being heard, like witnessed by someone, that also helps me. So again, if you don't want to share, it's okay. But if you do, just raise your hand in the participants. I see one hand. And we're just going to read a few of those before we are able to move forward to the meditation. So, okay, I'm going to just go in the order that I see them. So, Christian, if you, yes, hi. So go ahead. I don't know if you can unmute yourself, or if Daniel, if you do, Christian. But...
I just unmuted myself.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for creating this space and for letting me share this. A letter to those who loved me, those I loved, and everyone in between. Please forgive me. I was raised in a way that thinking taking on fear for you was loving you. I believed that trying to fix you or heal you or push you or feel you was love. I'm sorry that I let that fear consume me. I created holes in my heart. I created whole chasms between us. I would close my heart, put up walls, and scorch the earth. I'm sorry that I let the sins of my past, all those emotions unexpressed, all those tears I never shed flood our space. I'm sorry that rush of my love, that the bursting of my supernova of a heart scared you. But while I can empathize with you, I will no longer take on you. I will not fill my mental and emotional real estate with you. The rent is just too damn high. The price is too damn high. But I forgive you for knowing not what you did. I forgive you for hiding your tender parts from my fierce spirit. And I forgive you for wounding my tender heart with your fierce spirit. I thank you for holding pieces of my heart, for dropping little breadcrumbs. I thank you for the lessons, those bitter pills whose delicious anguish taught me the other side. Hello from the other side. I thank you for giving me the fantasy to keep going, for giving me the love that just keeps me hanging on. I thank you for feeding the fuel of the fantasy. It made my imagination stronger. It made my heart more resilient. And it made my love like the Energizer Bunny. It keeps going and going and going. I love you not for who I wanted you to be. I love you for who you actually were. I love you for what you taught me. I love you for how you helped make me me. I open my heart to love that pushes the levees of my heart, that opens my mind to a love that astounds me, that fills my mind with awe and makes me dumb. I open up my heart to a future whose brilliance blinds my eye, and I open my spirit to a love that can unite us all. I release the energy I wasted in damning my heart and armoring my unlimited spirit. I release the baggage that weighed on my mind, those chips on my shoulder, those boulders in my soul. I release the idea of a hole in my heart that I'm not enough. I take into myself the idea that I am free, I am whole, I am enough. While I may try to fill the holes in others, I learn that's just me poking holes in myself. And to my future, I love her that I am ready to be loved, to receive and to give. I open the channel not just to partial feelings, but to the whole of human experience. And I will stop saying whole so freaking much. It's inappropriate. But my biological clock is ticking like this. Con mucho, mucho, mucho amor, Christian. Thank you. Sorry.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, we have up Sai.
Hi, everybody.
Mm.
Feels a little bit unfinished. But I sort of rushed to end it, but I just want to speak it out loud. So
Yeah.
thanks. Dear, smart, bold, sexy best friend / crush / lover of mine. First of all, thank you. Thank you for being there and walking with me as far as you could. Thank you for your love. Thank you for modeling the qualities I admire in you. Intelligence, boldness, joy, integrity, magnetism. Thank you for extending your aura over me, for trying. I see now that I have tried to steal your magic. I was afraid of my own. I didn't know where to find it. You are everything I want to be, unafraid, present, connected to your body and to pleasure. You take risks because it fills you with the joy of living. I followed you because I wanted to die. If I couldn't be you, it didn't seem worth it, unless I could get as close to you as possible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I objectified you, turned you into a flat vision of my own perceived deficit. I'm sorry I stole your energy, tapped into you and sucked you dry. I'm sorry I couldn't see what I was doing, denied it when you tried to call me in. I didn't understand, but now I do. I'm sorry doesn't cover it. There is action to be taken. I return to you everything I stole, your identity, your vitality. I step forward into the responsibility of self-determination. I have found the well of love and power within my own heart. I am myself. I let that be enough because it is enough. It is my birthright, so I don't have to take yours. I love and accept even my failures, even my mistakes, because they are mine to learn from, mine and no one else's. I bless you with my gratitude and love from the never-ending ocean that I am. I am, Sai.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Whew. A lot of these have a lot of energy in them, right? A lot of energy. Okay, so we have One more hand. We have Gab. It's from Gab phone. I don't. So, and if everyone could just mute
Hello.
you. Yes, and
It's
okay.
Gabriella, but yeah.
Gabriella, there you are. Okay, I was like, where is she? Where did she go?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right. Dear love, I'm writing you from a foreign place when I'm still exploring clarity. I realize projecting the parts of myself I deem unworthy or unlovable into others was what was transpiring. Well, I told stories that they were abandoning or hurting me. The loops I've been living in were so deep in my mind because it was satisfying to create a villain from you and a victim out of me and validate a need for saving. I apologize for not understanding that if I found you in a dark and painful time, it was because I hadn't really gotten over my own. I apologize to release you and all other loves from any narratives or dynamics that keep us both blocked from ourselves and a true connection to one another. And I rebuke any demands for guilt or shame or responsibility for those with no, self-accountability. And to them too, I release and I forgive and I love. And I love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you everyone who has shared. And, you know, if you feel like this, you know, because it's a really vulnerable place, it's really brave and it's powerful and it's empowering. And if you didn't feel comfortable to share, that's okay. If you do feel like you want to share that and, you know, maybe reach out, you can email me, you know, your letters if you want, or if you want to do that, if that helps you feel like part of the process completed, please do. You can email me at bookmarcella@gmail.com. Just put letter to a never lover in your in the subject line so I know what it is. Okay. Because again, sometimes it's just the act of sharing it. Oh, thank you. Daniel put it in the chat, my email address. Sometimes it is just the act of sharing it, like having someone, again, like I said, witness you and not just holding it all in, or like, you know, that feeling of like, I have so many journals, I write everything down and I shove it away. And it's like, didn't really get to fully process it out, you know? So one of the things, you know, there's many things you can do with this letter after, you know, if you want to create like a ritual or a practice with it. If you have an altar, you can place that on your altar and ask your guides, your teams, your guardians, your ancestors, whoever you work with, to help you facilitate the healing. You know, another way of working with ritual is me personally, and I'm only advising this in a safe way, but I love burning letters. So, you know, there's an alchemical process of transmuting the energy from that by burning it, releasing it. You know, sometimes it's also like there's something really powerful too. Like I like blowing into the wind, you know, like I'll read it and then, you know, and ask the wind to take it. You know, there's many different things in your home. If any of you are familiar with like feng shui, in the like relationship corner, which you can look it up, the diagram online, but if you look it up, you know, it's basically the front door, from your front door, whether you live in an apartment, a house, whatever, it is the furthest corner to the right is your relationship area. So you could put it there, you know, and ask for some support and some healing. Also just like look at what's hanging out in your relationship corner, because sometimes that's illuminating, you know, what we're emphasizing or putting our attention to. So yeah, so those are some ways to work with it. Does anyone have any thoughts or other practices that they like to put into for themselves when that they've found healing that might be of comfort if they feel like sharing? Just go ahead and raise your hand if you do. Okay, let's see. Gabriella, your hand is up. I don't know if that's for this or if it was from last time, but if it is, feel free to unmute yourself.
Oh, no, it's from before.
Okay, thank you. You know, the other thing is like you can do I like adding intentions into things that I'm drinking, like whether it's water or coffee or tea, you know, giving yourself some love through those words, or inviting in relationships that are in right relation, and then inhaling it through the body. You know, there are many different things. Okay, let's see. Oh, do you have a hand up? I see something. Is that you, Elizabeth? Did you want to say something? Yeah, okay.
Hi, everybody. So I was really surprised. I contemplated taking the workshop or not, because I feel like I'm in a really, really good place with the themes of love and self-love in my life. And it's very surprising to me because I have a lot of sexual trauma, a lot of childhood trauma. And I'm just going to share in the chat a sexual trauma healing ritual that I did a couple years ago, which I really feel helped me overcome and heal from all the bad things that happened before. So when I'm writing this, the letter I wrote is actually like a manifestation of the self-love I've come to. So I really recommend people doing this ritual. I'll link it in the chat box now.
Thank you so much. Yes. Yes, like these kinds of the work we do, it doesn't have to just be when you're in pain. You know, if you are feeling good about how much you've done already and how much growth you've had, isn't it good to keep going? You know, and I appreciate you sharing what you've learned, and that's going to benefit a lot of other people who see that and can work with that for themselves today. Okay, I'm just gonna look here and see if there's anyone else. We have, okay, Christian.
Me again.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. I just wanted to thank you for what you literally just said right now, because I just sort of realized that like making the space for those good feelings is like new and like requiring like the intention and awareness to like open yourself up to that. And I just wanted to like echo like what you said about burning letters. Like a tool for forgiveness that really helps me is writing astral letters, where I just like commit from my higher self to release any negative energy or emotion between somebody else's higher self. And I feel like whether that's like washing them away from my life or like just clearing the space, that's helped me out a lot. So I just wanted to share those two things with the group.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, because
She froze, right?
She did freeze. I'm gonna
Yeah.
text her and stand by. Marcella will return imminently.
I'm right
Oh,
here. I don't know
hey,
what happened.
welcome back.
Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
The electronics have been going off lately. Like, yeah. Okay. Sorry. Next up, and I apologize if I say your name wrong, but I have Lise Flo.
Yeah, that's fine. What I was going to say is I've been doing this in art therapy, and it's been kind of inner child work. Is
Yes.
just doodling, however, like just taking colors and coloring whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect, and kind of just instead of writing or something, just emoting that way.
Brilliant. Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you. The inner child work, right? That's the core work, right? Like essentially where we learn to love and, you know, and take care of ourselves, our first relationships, you know. Okay. Let me see. Is there anyone else? Well, I'd love to move on because we're, okay, let's see. Okay. Yes. And thank you so much, everyone, for writing in the chat. That's powerful. It's really powerful. Okay, so we're gonna meditation. It's interesting because initially I was like, oh, I'll do like this like self-care, self-love meditation, and then I got real strong guidance not to, like that it was more about doing this more intensive one. And this is going to be a meditation for cord cutting and clearing, and you know, not just to any relationships, but any old aspects of ourself that are hindering us from being in the right relationship with our authentic self, and relationships that are in alignment with us. So this isn't just about intimacy. This is about, you know, in our romance, it's about also like our friendships, our collective, who are we connected to collectively. And it does come with a disclaimer. It's going to be very powerful clearing. And if you want to take a moment, I'm just going to ask you to check in with yourselves, with your higher self, your highest guidance, and feel in if it feels right for you to do today. I won't be bummed out if you have to, you know, if you have to go and want to, like, I want you to listen to your own wisdom right now. And, but if you're ready, we're going to begin in about 5 minutes. I want everyone to take a quick break if they need to get a drink, use the bathroom, whatever you need to, just to get situated. You know, also, if you're like, okay, maybe I can't handle that right now, I have a lot to do after this or whatever, and you want to come back to it, it is being recorded so you can revisit it. Okay, but I am gonna let's do like 5 minute quick 5 minute break, and then we're gonna do the meditation. Okay. Let's give it like another 1 more minute, maybe make sure everyone's back. Okay. All right, everyone. Let's see. Welcome back. Okay. So as I mentioned, we're going to do this meditation and for cord cutting and clearing. And it is, like I said, is going to be, you know, one of these things where putting into these practices can help us really reset ourselves. And we're doing this in a way to be met in a place of honor. This is not a practice of, you know, some people worry about cord cutting and clearing because they think it burns the bridge to the other person and they want to have just healthy boundaries. And, you know, it's not a bridge burning technique. It is more about just creating, like I said, an honorable and safe space for you to feel like you can truly be yourself and invite in relationship meet you on the level that you're at, not you having to like come down to meet other people or going up and down, you know, like it becomes exhausting, right? Having to consistently, especially if you're trying to grow and evolve and you're constantly trying to meet relationships in a place of needing to go to them and bring them over the bridge to you, essentially. So I am just ask you to find a comfortable space. It doesn't matter if you're sitting or lying down. I often like to sit up for these types of things just because I don't want to fall asleep. I know the moment I lay down, I like will knock out. So it just depends on what works for you. Okay. And if you do knock out, that's totally fine too. You know, you're going to get whatever you need. Okay. From this. And again, like I said, you can always find a way back to it. And, you know, just try to limit distractions. I know sometimes there's outside noise that can't be prevented, especially if we live in a city. But just really try to tune into the sound of my voice and coming back to a grounded place of quiet. Go ahead, and if you haven't yet, close your eyes and just find some gentleness and stillness within your breath. Taking a few slow inhales and exhales. Letting any outside noise or distractions fade away. Releasing stress and tension. Relaxing your shoulders. Relaxing your jaw, your back, your legs. Roll your head and neck or stretch it out if you need to. Sometimes when we're sitting, we can really get locked up in these areas. It's where we hold a lot of responsibility. A lot of tension is held in the neck and shoulders. And just shake out anything else if you need to, and just steady. Roll your shoulders if you need to, and steady out. Sometimes too, in our hands, we can hold a lot of energy in our hands. Just shake out. Sometimes too, I find after writing a lot of stuff that's very intense or very layered, washing your hands with a little bit of salt can clear out the palm chakras and clear out any energy that's residual that's been coming through. And I invite you in this moment to tune in to your auric field. Your auric field is the energetic body that surrounds your physical body. Begin to take note of its shape and size. This can look different for everyone and can change depending on where you are, what your occupation is, and how you engage with the world around you. You can keep it very close or very far out. It could be very lopsided. So sometimes when we pull it in, we pull it really close to our physical body for protection, or we expand it out to be very caretaking for the world environment around us. But for today, I want us all to be on the same page with it. So I'm going to invite you to visualize your auric field as an egg shape of golden light energy, expanding 6 feet in all directions, all the way around your body. Visualize this egg-shaped field of golden light as your personal container to work within. As your personal field becomes more visibly pronounced in your mind's eye, you may become aware of anyone that might be inadvertently in your field with you, in your energetic space. You see them, you might see them visually or get a sense of knowing or a name. Just visualize that fading away into the background. And it's okay if you know this person or not. What we're going to do is breathe in more of that golden ray of energy, and as we fill up the space, they're going to be gently popped out of your field, creating a healthy boundary and distance. Do not worry if this is a loved one or someone you care for. You're just taking a nice, healthy space. Now we're going to scan the body beginning 6 feet below our feet into the auric field. Remember, it's 6 feet in all directions, so we can prune, weed, and clear any cords or attachments to old relationships to others individually and collectively, as well as old ideas of self that are no longer in alignment or resonance with our authentic hearts and true nature. As we move from 6 feet below our feet, I would like you to imagine this beautiful indigo light scanner that moves up through the field with us. As it does, it illuminates and then separates or dissolves any cords, attachments, hooks, or repetitive looping behaviors or ideas. Sometimes we have old programs that are still running or in part anchored into us from other people. Whether intentional or unconscious, it does not matter. We are just illuminating as we move up our light scanner, up through the field, through the Earth Star chakra, which is 3 feet below your 3 feet below your feet, moving that light scanner up the root, the base of your spine, your foundation, your hips, the sacral area, the area of creativity, then up into the solar plexus, which is your gut instincts and your personal power. Then into the heart, a place of love, connection, and honesty. Remember, this indigo light scanner has a dual purpose, and while it is illuminating those hooks, cords, connections, it is also removing and dissolving any attachments or discord within your auric field. Next, we move through to the throat, our voice, our communication, and our expression. If at any point you need to have the scanner go over an area again, especially in some areas that feel more congested than others, go ahead and do so. Now we move up through the eye, the third eye, your perception and intuitive knowing, and up through the crown, our connection to source energy, our sovereignty and connectivity to our highest self and evolution. We don't end here, however. Remember, we must go 6 feet above, continuing up to the soul star and upper chakras, the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th chakra. As your scanner makes its way through to the very tippy top of your auric field, it starts to hover above and begins to rotate and spin in a clockwise motion, picking up speed. As it does this, it changes color from indigo into a multicolored rainbow aura like quartz. Now that you have cleared away from these old attachments and energies, you can now recharge your field by allowing this rainbow aura energy to replenish your field and nourish the spaces where the attachments once resided. So let's move again, this time from the tippy top of your auric field. The rainbow auric enhancer moves down the entirety of your field, filling in any spaces that were emptied by clearing the old attachments to others or even old forms of self. Any areas that were holding collective lessons or grief that were not yours to hold on to anymore. Any empty spaces that held family of origin stories you have dissolved as they are no longer necessary for your survival are now replenished with wisdom, grace, and nourishment. This rainbow aura light enhancer now makes its way through the entirety of your field and completes its job by moving down and through the bottom of your 6-foot container. As it hovers there, see it slowing to spin down to create a beautiful baseline foundation platform below. This platform now moves up to face us. And in front of us, appearing atop the platform, we are met by a wisdom guide. From this space, we may ask this guide if it has any additional messages or information for us. And I'm going to be quiet for just a moment so you may have this exchange. If there is anything they need to tell you or show you as a message, you may receive it now. Just receive whatever it is, whether it's just even an image, a word. It is about time that we begin to return back to our daily lives. You've done powerful work here today. You can take a moment here to thank your guide for the powerful assistance that is provided today and continues to show up for you with. I invite you to tune back into your heart center. And with your field, begin to fill with a powerful color of your choosing today. Begin to breathe in the color and see it fill the entirety of your field and your body. I'm going to count up from 5 to 1, and you will be fully grounded, alert, and present in the reality of this moment. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming back into the present moment, you can gently open your eyes when you're ready. Stretch out if you need to. And take this moment to write down any messages or notes that you received during the meditation. Okay. So let's just check in with everyone and just see how you all are doing. We just have not too much longer, but Foxwild said, damn. Okay. Well, yes, thank you. Thanks everyone for being here today. Before we close, I want to just invite the space, if there's anyone that maybe hasn't gotten a chance to share or speak, if they wanted to add anything. We have a couple moments for that. If you want to go ahead and just raise your hand if you in that participants thing. Just scanning this to see. You're welcome. I like do this stuff just, because I'm constantly, I've been on this path since I was 18 of just self-discovery, and, people, even, my grandma, like, why do you want to know this stuff? And I'm like, I'm obsessed with finding out the truth. It's painful, and maybe I'm a little addicted to it, to the unlayering, but like, I'm always like, what's under it? What's under it? And that can also be a challenge too, if you're the one that's always looking for the truth in things, especially when there are a lot of people that want to, that want to stay asleep. Heather, thank you everyone. Heather, if you did want to share, you can unmute yourself. Yes, you're unlayering. It's right. It's like peeling the onion.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that was really powerful. And as my guide came to me, she offered me like a handful of feathers and just kept saying, wear life loosely, wear it more loosely. And I really just took that to mean maybe not carrying like so much hurt with me all the time, and feeling that heaviness of specifically like the relationships that came up as the cord cutting was happening, just letting them float a little bit more and not push me down so much. And it was really beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I think the other thing to remember before we go today is be very gentle with yourselves in this process. You might have some feeling come up, and you might find that there are, sometimes we just have to like lay there and let them come up and just be in it and be in the moment, because we're letting it pass through us, not trying to stuff it or suppress it down, but let it move through you, like the way you would watch a storm move through the sky. You don't try to stop it, but you prepare for it. You weather, the circumstance. And also sometimes some of these attachments and connections that we clear, guess what? They love to come. Hey, how are you? I was just thinking about you. Or like they'll email you or message you or DM you. It's like, you've been on my mind. And that's when it worked. It's like, got it, you recorded. Now, some of them, if they are, and you feel like obligated to contact them back, try not to engage right away, okay? It doesn't mean you have to like, oh, that is funny, got a text from my ex during this session. Of course. Try not to engage right away. It doesn't mean you have to ignore them or ghost them, but do it from a place when you feel empowered, not where you're going to be hooked in and reattached, that kind of thing. Because it is sometimes that rubber band effect, or we think we clamor after it. Oh, but did I do the right thing? If you did the right thing, like, yeah, of course you did. Will this come from an elevated place? yes, if that's what you choose to. So just to kind of wrap things up, I would like to, again, thank you all for being here, for holding this space, this container for me, and for anyone who is tuning into this later and viewing. You're also part of this, and you're ready. You know, I think we do this work, and when we're called to it, it's because we're for it. So you're not here because it's nothing you can't handle. This, you can handle it because you showed up for it. You saw it, you signed up, or you viewed it and you were like, I'm going to do that. You know, and I really appreciate you hearing and witnessing my letter, because that also adds magic to this whole process. And thank you everyone, like what Megan was saying, everyone who shared. Your words are going to help someone. Maybe not, you might not know it in this moment, but I bet they've touched someone, whether they're in this group now and they are moved to be in this you know, video by watching it later. And let me see. I'd love a copy. Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, if anyone wants a copy of my letter, if you want it, I'm like, email me, I'll send it to you. Or if you need guidelines for anything, just like I said, email me. But we're going to go ahead and close the container so that we can go back to our lives today and whatever else weekend plans we have. And I wish you all well, and thank you for being a part of this journey with me. And thank you, Not a Cult, again. So, okay. So just to go ahead to close, I want you to come back to that comfortable place and put your hands on your heart. And we're going to go out the way we came in, essentially. First, put your hands on your heart, and we're going to thank ourselves for being present today for this practice, for showing up. Thank you. And we're going to gratitude the energies from above. Our connection to spirits, our connection to our guides, to our higher selves, to the star nations. Thank you. Bring your hands to Mother Earth below. We're going to thank Mother Earth and all beings that inhabit this space, place, for supporting us, for gracing us with this gift we call life. Bringing our awareness, thinking the directions of the north, thinking the earth elements, the earth energies, for holding us, for guiding us, for grounding us today. Thank you to the directions of the west, of water, for our emotions, for the clearing, for the balance. Thanking the energies of the south, the fire, the creativity, the fire, the drive, the passion, for being with us, holding us, for clearing away anything that does not serve us anymore. And turning our direction to the direction of the east, air element, for the clarity, the writing, the wisdom, the communication, for hearing our words, our intentions, our prayers. Thanking our breath. Thank you, all of you again for being here today. It's been a true pleasure and an honor to hold space in this way. These are strange and surreal times, and I am so fortunate to, you know, connect with all of you during them. So have a good one, everybody, and take good care. If you would like more information about Not a Cult and what their offerings are, do check them out. Their website, and they have a social media. They have their Instagram. I'm also on Instagram under my name. This will probably be posted on YouTube within the next 24 hours. And, you know, like, comment, or share it if you feel like someone would benefit from it. And thank you all for sharing your own personal tools and gifts. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Marcella.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.